Feel good, bro. It feel good, bro. I want you to feel my Nah, I'm talking about the other one. We were like, yeah.
Today, the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals issued a stay of execution for Melissa Lucio and ordered the 138th Judicial District Court of Cameron County to consider new evidence of her innocence in the death of her daughter, Mariah.
Yes, we're going to get online Hold on, stand by, guys, hold on. I'm putting you on speaker. John, you're on speaker with all kinds of people, and
The statement from Melissa goes as follows, quote, I thank God for my life. I have always trusted in Him. I am grateful the court has given me the chance to live and prove my innocence. Mariah is in my heart today and always. I am grateful to have more days to be a mother to my children and a grandmother to my grandchildren. I will use my time to help bring them to Christ. I am deeply grateful to everyone who prayed for me and spoke out on my behalf. Unquote.
My husband cannot speak right now. He's actually driving. We are just overwhelmed with so much joy. We are so grateful for everybody and every single body that has fought so hard for her. We are just in so much disbelief right now. I mean, we knew this was going to happen. This is what we were praying for.
And John, where are you, just so we have perspective?
I'm 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes away from Gate 3 unit. I'm going back to visit my mom and go celebrate with her.
And then a statement from one of Mariah's attorneys, Tavon Shardle, says, quote, we know that Melissa's children, Mariah's brothers and sisters, and Mariah's grandparents, aunts, uncles are all relieved and grateful that Melissa's life will not be taken by the state of Texas. And we believe the court honored Mariah's memory because Melissa is innocent. Melissa is entitled to a new, fair trial. Texans should be grateful and proud that the Court of Criminal Appeals has given Melissa's legal team the opportunity to present the new evidence of Melissa's innocence to the Cameron County District Court. We are profoundly grateful to the hundreds of thousands of Texans and people around the U.S. and the world who advocated for Melissa, including Representatives Jeff Leach and Joe Moody, Senator Eddie Lucio, and more than 100 Texas legislators, 225 anti-domestic violence and SA organizations, including the Texas Council on Family Violence, the Texas Association Against SA, Friendship of Women, and the Lone Star Justice Alliance. Over 130 faith leaders, including Pastor Jesse Reincones of the Hispanic Baptist Convention of Texas, and more than 30 groups that work on behalf of Latinos.
Just one big old team, putting up the fight for my mother, Melissa Elizabeth Lucio. Today, we got the great news. We're actually in the middle of her interview, and we got the great news. Your mother got a stay of execution.
Yes.
All right. She got a stay of execution, and she won't be heading to Huntsville Wednesday, which was, at that time, it was hard, April 27th is still there until when I see April 27th pass and it's April 28th. Yeah. That's when it's really going to be, it's exciting. It's overwhelming. It's the same way she's been on execution with the death row, with the execution date. And it was hard for us to believe. Many people have asked if we had prepared for this. No, we haven't. The same thing with the with the state of execution, April 27th still there. I mean, we just live day for day, and we're just we're gonna believe in God, and we're gonna continue believing in Him, and keep our faith up with Him, and keep on fighting this fight till we bring her home. She's no longer gonna be executed. My mother will be free soon. And I just want to say thank you, and God bless everybody.
Also, there was a statement from Vanessa Pike. She is the Director of Special Litigation at the Innocence Project, and she is also one of Melissa's attorneys. She says, quote, "The Court of Criminal Appeals did the right thing by stopping Melissa's execution. Medical evidence shows that Mariah's death was consistent with an accident, but for the state's use of false testimony, no juror would have voted to convict Melissa of capital murder because no murder occurred. It would have shocked the public's conscience for Melissa to be put to death based on false and incomplete medical evidence for a crime that never happened. All of the new evidence of her innocence has never before been considered by any court. The court stay allows us to continue fighting alongside Melissa to overturn her wrongful conviction."
Bobby can share that with you. My brother actually called them after the phone call, or after the news that we received, and he could share that with you guys. Thank you.
So I did call my other siblings, and fortunately only two answered. You know, they were it was kind of hard for them to listen or hear me. I was crying, hard to get out, but they were just asking, you know, so what's the next step? You know, what's going to happen? They were just, you know, just asking me all these questions that I didn't have the answer to then, still don't, kind of. But yeah, they were just, you know, wanting to know more what we're going to do for my mom for Mother's Day when she comes out. And right, you know, when we were talking about that, you know, he says, my brother says, you know, she got to stay. So just, you know, us talking about that and him saying it at the right time was just, I was just in shock, you know. Couldn't believe what I was hearing. You had to, you know, just process it and just immediately started crying. That she's a caring person, you know. Me and my brother going to her visits, you know, she's always asking about us. You know, she cares more about you than to actually talk about herself. So, you know, there's a lot for people to learn about my mom. You know, it's a lot.
And also a statement from Professor Sandra Babcock, also one of Melissa's attorneys. Quote, "Melissa's life matters. The court's decision paves the way for Melissa to present evidence of her innocence that should have been heard by the jury that condemned her to death 14 years ago. As a survivor of childhood SA and intimate partner violence, and now locked away for these past 15 years, Melissa's voice and experiences have never been valued. The court's decision signals its willingness to finally hear Melissa's side of the story. If the district court hears all of the evidence of Melissa's innocence and the gender bias that infected the police investigation and prosecution, we are confident she will return home to her family."
Yes, we're so excited. We had a big old hug, and it was just so exciting. I mean, it was just excited. My brother Bobby and my wife, they were just so happy about what they started sharing everything with my mother, and my mother they were just happy. And when we're just there telling each other, we're not seeing Wednesday. There's no execution. There's not going to be no execution no more. You know, it was just so much in just that little bit of time. And it's been 15 long years, you know. And so we say to ourselves, I mean, God forbid, but if it takes another 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, it really don't matter. I mean, we're going to hug her regardless, you know. And it'll be soon because she won't be on death row much longer. And we'll have more likely physical contact visits.
So what are your thoughts on this stay that was granted? Do you believe that it was justified or unjustified? I do have to personally say that I do not believe she did have a fair trial. I do believe that this case does need to go back to court and all evidence need to be presented. I do not believe the death penalty should ever be handed down unless there is zero reasonable doubt whatsoever that it was premeditated or intentional. I do not believe this was a death penalty case, and as I say again, I do not believe it should have been ever a charge handed down. All of that said, I do believe that Melissa does hold some responsibility in Mariah's death. And I do not believe she was completely innocent, as people are saying. That's probably going to be a very unpopular opinion. But the way I see it is she was Mariah's mother. Mariah should have been given the medical attention that she needed. Period. And she was not. So many people has gathered around to save Melissa's life, and I respect that fully because she was handed the wrong sentence, in my opinion. However, where was the adults who gathered around when Mariah needed someone there to stop her death? Who came to her aid? No one. Obviously. That is all I'm going to say about that at the moment. Let me know what you think below. Thank you all so much for listening, and until next time, this is Unjustified.